Well, I think it's quite interesting to be sat here because there are very few clients that would go through such contortions to get into a couture outfit, and that's actually a really good starting point to talk about Armani, because the thing that I'm always struck by at an Armani show are the clients, and the sheer number of clients, because I think whether or not you relate to it on an editorial level and on a press level, there is this incredibly loyal following for what Armani does, both in ready-to-wear and in haute couture. For instance, he is the best-selling brand in China for women's wear, and you see a huge number of Chinese couture clients at the Armani shows wearing Armani Privé. It's interesting that it's not the only example, but it's one of the very few examples of day wear that we've selected for this shoot. And it's quite interesting to see how Giorgio Armani actually used the day wear from his collection to advance some very interesting points about shape and silhouette, exploring the cut and construction and the texture of the outfit. To me, I think his day wear is always much stronger than the evening wear, which is odd because he's thought...
But do you think that's because he's got such an understanding of cut and construction from doing menswear and all the tailoring?
I think as well that's the foundation where he comes from. He comes from that Italian world. He comes from working with Nino Cerruti on suiting, on menswear suiting, and his kind of the great thing he did in the 70s and the early 80s was to translate that into women's wear, that kind of Armani ease, and at that perfect moment when women were starting to enter the boardroom and starting to compete with men and wanted a uniform that was their equivalent of the kind of, suited and booted city boy outfit. He was poised to deliver that. I think now what he's doing is, considering that he's regarded as a red carpet designer by so many people, it's very interesting to see the focus that continues to be on day wear in his collections. And sometimes it's the evening dresses, it's the polka dotted veils and the sequins that you remember, but actually there's a core of day wear looks. There's always a core of 30 day wear looks at the start, and I really believe that that's very much what women are going to him for. So many other houses feel very saturated with evening wear. I think with Chanel, there's always that day wear element. There is always the tweed suit. There is always a reality, but they're kind of an exception to the rule. So many others choose to focus purely on evening wear, because also I think there's this idea that there's if you're shelling out that much money, you'll be shelling it out for an evening dress, and that there's a certain longevity to couture in the evening, that if you buy a really great couture sequined evening dress, you can wear it for 25 years.
But couture is such a big investment. You would invest in day wear as well.
I mean, it feels like it's more logical to do that, but if there's a dearth of people offering that, and I guess maybe that is the great thing that you said to me, Camilla, which is the idea that couture is sort of a trailer for what you're going to see on the red carpet. Yeah. Which I thought was a very interesting idea, that the couture show, watch what's happening at couture, you'll be seeing it on red carpets over the next 6 months. But actually, Armani, I feel, is kind of the counterpoint to that. And he's offering this kind of day wear, this reality. And sometimes it's almost anti-glamour because it's stripping back away from everything that you imagine couture to be. But really, it's kind of the bread and butter. It's sort of the heart of what it should be.
Well, it's power dressing, isn't it? Because it's power in the construction.
Okay, we're done.